Hey guys, this is Studio 9. I want to do a quick overview of this assignment for you. It's the second to the last assignment for studio work anyway that you have for this semester. Um, it is due by Thursday at 11:59 p.m., which is this coming Thursday. It's got about a week to work on it. There's no reading or research involved in this. This is a rhetorical analysis of your digital essay. And the reason why we're doing a rhetorical analysis is it's an explanation of what's going on behind the scenes of your own essay. We've talked about how critical readers look at what's going on behind the surface of a text. So critical reflectors should look at and consider what's going on behind the surface of their text. This class is more about how to think like a writer than how to write. So I want you to take some time to think about what choices, struggles, revisions, learnings, strategies, what kind of thinking is going on behind what we see on the surface of your text. So a rhetorical analysis is just an explanation of the choices that are going on in any given piece. So what you're going to do is got some prompts down here that take you through some of the different things that I want you to think about in terms of all of these layers that we're trying to build into this essay. We've talked about integrating sources, selecting sources, organizing for an argument, placement for your thesis statement, making sure you have an argument. We talked about using modes and design and all kinds of stuff. So I just want to take some time and have people kind of think about this a little bit. So what you're going to do, I'm going to come down just to the directions here. You're going to address these prompts based on wherever you are, when you get to it. Maybe your essay is done, maybe it's almost done. That's fine. I want to note that you very well may struggle to answer some of these questions, and that's fine. It's kind of expected. The goal is for you to think about whether or not you've considered certain choices during the drafting process. So if you struggle with a prompt, it's fine to say that and explain why. Or if you haven't really thought about or made that specific rhetorical choice yet, you can say that and then list the idea that you have now. So the goal is not to answer everything perfectly, to assess whether or not you've done it perfectly, just to help you think about what kinds of choices you made or might make where you are with the draft. So the first couple of prompts are the same kinds of prompts you've been answering, so these should be the easiest. Your essay's purpose, what kind of argument you're wanting to make, describe characteristics of your essay's target audience. Please, if you've made changes to anything with your audience, your thesis statement, any of that stuff throughout the process, please state that. Describe some specific information about the issue your audience doesn't know and how you addressed it in the essay. So what were the things your audience needed to know to be caught up, and where did you decide to cover that? Or what types of perspectives did you cover? So what did you feel like when you identified the conversation, what people were kind of debating over was opinions, or was it different ideas for solutions? Was it different theories? Is it that people had different concerns, or maybe people had really specific fears about something? And number 5, where in your essay did you think it worked best to address it, and why? What was your strategy for addressing other perspectives? 6, what main points did you decide to cover? So these are those reasons, those sections that we kind of decided on and have been talking about. Were you doing problem solution? Were you listing specific fears people had about something and trying to refute it? Were you clearing up misconceptions? And in what order did you decide to lay your information out? Let's see, I think I'm on number 7 now. Explain reasons for your overall design strategy and the tone of your essay. So talk about what kind of tone you were trying to set, why you made certain choices about how you wanted your essay to look, maybe what genre you were trying to model. Numbers 8, 9, and 10 are all about rhetorical appeals. So we've talked a little bit about that in class, and we said a well-rounded essay uses all 3. Sorry, actually uses all 4 appeals. So we're going to kind of go through and just give you some things to think about with that. So number 8 is describe what you did or will do to engage your audience and make emotional connections. So it could be things with maybe a specific mode like visual mode, or you made choices with your design or with your language, with descriptions, things like that. So think about how did you get them engaged to keep them interested, maybe what you included to help them care about the issue, to engage their emotions, maybe help them visualize what you were talking about. So you can think about use and placement of certain images, color schemes, questions, quotes, descriptive language, personal experience, emotional stories, examples, events. Sometimes exciting current news can do the same thing, surprising statistics, that kind of stuff. Number 9 is all about establishing your ethos or your credibility. How are you going to get your audience to trust you? Did you include personal experience or a certain, like maybe you have a certain level of expertise or knowledge about the issue based on previous research, your own level of research during the project, maybe your specific use of disciplinary language in your essay. Could be tone of voice, citations and genre conventions, types of credibility, considering other sides, because being fair-minded and having that fairness of language makes you look more rational and fair-minded. The use of specific experts if you don't have any specific expertise to back you up. Introduction of your experts and sources for evidence. So your readers are going to want to know, especially if you're not an expert, how or do they know that they can trust the people that you're pulling in to support you. Number 10, I put together logos and kairos in one. So how are you going to convince your audience that this makes sense? That's kind of what logos is. It's not just having evidence. It's getting your audience to understand that your perspective makes sense, or what you have to say makes sense. And we're kind of adding in kairos, which is thinking about the timeliness of the issue. So maybe describe some specific reasons you gave the audience. Describe what you did to address the audience's concerns or differing ideas. Describe where you pulled in your experts maybe to back you up if you haven't covered that yet for ethos. And again, some of these may overlap, so you're welcome to state if you already maybe addressed this in a previous prompt. Describe where you thought it important to use examples to kind of just pull in your own stuff maybe, or your primary sources. Use examples, hypothetical situations, or other illustrations to help explain some of the information. And describe how you made your argument, current and relevant. So did you talk about current political issues and news, reference current social media trends, reference current films, perhaps current theories or solutions? How did you show people and show your readers that this is how this connects to things that are relevant right now today? So this is 475 words, which is about 1.5 to 2 pages, and please submit this in a one single file when you are done.